In the middle of a very busy schedule, Professor Ronald Harden has got a minute now to speak to us all at AMEE Live Online. Professor Harden, this is the 45th AMEE conference, I think, this year. How is this one different from the others, in your opinion?
Oh, John, delighted to speak with you. It's been a great conference. Each conference seems to get more exciting. It's the exhilarance that goes through all the exhibits and all the individual and the participants. So I think medical education is becoming even more exciting as things advance, and I think this is reflected in the meeting. I think it's reflecting the meeting, the number of participants. We've got more participants than we've ever had, with more exhibits, more papers. Just looking at the 3,300 papers that were submitted for the meeting just showed how exciting medical education is at the moment. And I think these are represented at this meeting.
And a wider span of participants as well, with different backgrounds.
Sure. It's clear that medical education now has a very much a wide community, and I think that's one of the strengths. We've noticed this even in the journal, in Medical Teacher, in the articles published, and certainly here at this meeting. You've got the spectrum from students to junior doctors, to senior doctors, to deans of medical schools, to heads of ministries. That whole group of people in the one building talking about the one thing is you've got the spectrum of people from different countries. Some countries that don't even have easier relationships with each other. I think it was 103 different countries all talking here together about medical education. So it's people from different backgrounds, from medicine, from endocrinology, from pediatrics, from the basic sciences. And I think an interesting new thing at this meeting has been the surgery track, where some surgeons have been following that track, and I know some surgeons have come to this meeting for the first time.
And what I've noticed, I think, over the years is that we've now got a very wide expanse of topics, and some quite new horizon-breaking topics have been in the programme this time.
Sure. So I think it is showing the trends in curriculum planning that we need to be much more explicit about the learning outcomes and the competencies. And there's been a number of sessions on this move to competency-based education, trying to understand what it is. It's not polarised arguments for or against it, but what sort of competency-based, what sort of time-based model should we have? So in terms of the curriculum, I think we're seeing these very different approaches to the curriculum being demonstrated at the meeting.
And it's been exciting to interview the people from the two satellite offices, the AMEE office in Guangzhou and the AMEE office in Moscow. These are obviously new things this time.
Sure. It's, again, that's just part of this international nature of the meeting and of the participants.
And what other new things are there in AMEE in the foreseeable future?
Well, I think in education there's one with the whole session here at the meeting on adaptive education. In terms of what AMEE is doing, I think we've got, and I hope the participants here appreciate, and sorry the ones at a distance can't join us, although I've met a few people at this meeting who joined last year online and were so interested with the online development that they decided to come to the meeting live this year. And if they were seeing the AMEE exhibit, which, as you know, with some really quite exciting, the second journal, MedEd published. I think there's a huge demand. It's part of this excitement and scholarship in education, wanting something published. And I think this new AMEE MedEd published, immediate publication, post-publication review, is really the forward-look approach to publishing. So I think that's an exciting. And the other one that we're just starting, we'll be trying out at the meeting tomorrow, is this notion of how do we give advice to the teacher at the point of when they need it.
And this, I think, is an exciting part about AMEE. It's not just an organisation to congratulate its members, it is to help younger educators in their learning of how to teach.
Oh, excellent. Yes, very much so. I was talking a couple of years ago with two who were biochemists who were at the meeting, very junior biochemists, and there was a big difference when they came to a biochemistry meeting. People were kind of hiding their methods and their secrets, whereas when they came to this meeting, people couldn't stop wanting to tell them how they did everything, and this networking and trying to share experience. And I think that's the great challenge we all have, is how can we best share information.
And of course the wonderful thing is we're able to share now with AMEE Live Online with countries around the world. Friends who aren't able to participate here, please do be in touch with us using hashtag AMEE Live Online or AMEE 2018, and we'll be able to hear you again and ask your questions to the podium. Professor Ronald Harden, thank you very much for your time. It's been lovely to see you again.
Great to be here. And I hope we've got more questions coming in. A few people have commented already how much they enjoyed the questions that came live online from Australia, from Canada.
Yes.
It again just shows the width of our exposure. So thank you, John.
Excellent.
And again, wishing everyone online the best.